Hello guys, Civi Live. Today we have my scouting versus Zugu for I think week 3 of MLT. So let's just get right into it. So first we have Steel that he used the most, oh not the most, but he used it a lot. He had a Balloon AV Tran, AV Steel, it was a Assault Vest Celesteela, Happy Hour Jirachi with like Thunder or whatever. I think Thunder Zen Ironhead or something like that. Scarf Drill, Spadef Scizor, and like Life Orb Bisharp. He had a standard ground with like Fire-Ram Chomp. Let's slow this down a bit. Water, he had Alliance Aqua's water team with the in and out Pyukumuku. I think it's defensive Seismitoad with Refresh, Toxic, Rocks, and Scald. Defensive Tentacruel, Scarf, Dark Pulse Greninja, which you don't really see that often. You should see like Spikes or U-Turn, and Mega Sharpedo. Then he had some weird stall water that he'd only used like once, and I'm pretty sure he lost versus like ground, so I doubt he'd use that. Poison, standard poison, but he used a Shika Needle Queen, and I thought it was Spadef, but then I did a calc, and Banded Blue was strong, man. Because I saw it in the thing, it did like 92% or something the Pex, and I thought that was Spadef, but that's how much defensive Pex takes. Next to flying he has is like some weird Thunderwave Zatu team with DD Dragonite. It's really bad. Like everything loses to Scarf Greninja or whatever. Next is water. I mean normal. It's just like a standard normal team except he has a Mega Pidgeot. And his Ditto is non-choice, so I do have to remember that. And Psychic, he had this is the team I don't want to face the most. It's Taunt 3 attacks Gardevoir with Stallbreaker Mew, Scarf Teeny, Life Orb Latias, Rocks, Toxic Jirachi, and I'm assuming Cobra Slowbro, but he didn't show it, but he kinda has to have a Sharpedo check. And then Ice, it was like some weird HO Ice with Sand Slash and Life Orb Weavile and Focus Sash Cloister. So what I felt like I wanted to bring, honestly I gotta like use more types honestly, but I felt like Balanced Water is very good. His Steel just auto loses, his ground loses. Opposing Water can be out pressured because I'm going to be packing the Tail Glow Manaphy to help out with the poison, as well as being able to pressure opposing Water with Spikes plus you know, Tail Glow Manaphy at +3 or whatever with Psychic. Next we have Fairy. Fairy capable of beating Poison is very good, very good versus him. I looked in his replays and he uses like he's like, you know, defensive Needle Queen. So especially the team with the SD Bulu or even Banded Bulu with Zen Headbutt would be really good versus him. He actually lost versus the Banded Bulu with Zen Headbutt. I think it was Peachy Clouds or something else versus him because he had a Togekiss. I know he likes to use Togekiss Fairy. Next, flying, Soulbreaker Gliscor kind of beats all of his teams, like literally all of his teams, bar Stall, Water, and Psychic. He has the Stallbreaker Mew on that team, but it's not something that can't be played around. Next, our own Stallbreaker Mew, as well as Calm Mind Gardevoir, kind of breaks a lot of his teams, though the Water is basically an auto loss because he has Scarf Gren with Dark Pulse. Plus he has Mega Sharpedo, and I cannot Thunder Wave his Sharpedo with Misty Terrain up, so I gotta be wary of that. Honestly, what I'm thinking about, let me just finish before I talk about that. Comments. He's a very solid player. He uses some weird teams, like some weird sets, but it's not as bad as like Chaitanya. It just looks like he's like having fun with some stuff where he just found some sets that might do really well versus certain opponents, and it shows that he does prep, because if you see like in some of his games, like he brought Ice versus Julio, but he brought like SD Darkinium Z Sandslash with Night Slash versus Psychic, so he definitely knows what he's doing in terms of prepping, so I definitely gotta be wary of that. So my plan is just to hopefully get matchup, because he doesn't save too many replays. This is just what I gained from the replays I did see, and if I get matchup, I should win, because the teams that I'm packing Like, if they get matchup, they should win. If I get steal with Taunt Gliscor, it's basically a win, if I'm being honest. And he doesn't even run Magnezone, so it's even easier. So that's my game plan. In terms of what I want to lead off with, I kind of want to just throw Psychic out there, because if I say I do pull the water game 1, then that's fine. I could just, you know, win the next games or whatever. But it has such a good matchup versus literally everything else that I'd want to bring it. And at least if I bring it and I win game 1, I can bait him into bringing that water game 2, and then I can pull out the probably Fairy or my own balanced water. That water is really annoying, so I don't know if there's any direct counters, but I would probably bring Fairy to take it on with like Calm Mind. Probably Calm Mind Clefable, because if I can knock out his Pyukumuku, then I should just be able to like knock out his Sharpedo and his Gren with Calm Mind Clefable, and then have the Grassland and stuff to be able to learn Toad. And if I can kill Toad, then I'm just gonna win with Specs, Coco, Cooking, Thunderbolt. So that's my game plan. Hopefully we do get a win, because this is the tour I want to win the most, even more than seasonals, because I already started off in losers in seasonals just because I didn't scout Wonka that well, so I'm kind of mad about that still. But hopefully we get a win, and then if we do get a win, we do verse Bit for the finals of the winners bracket, and then we verse whoever wins in the losers bracket for the whole tournament, and hopefully we get that trophy on our mantles. So today we have my battles versus Zugu for the MLT round 3. So let's get right into it. I brought this Mega Guard Psychic team that I brought, prepping for his I didn't want to get caught by that stupid stall team that Alliance Aqua passed him, but I feel like I kind of was too scared. Like, I had some teams prepped that would have done really well versus like this, but I don't know. I just like under-prepped for the matches that matter, I guess. So let's get right into it. Leads off with his Azu. I lead off with my Teeny. I was predicting something like maybe a Klefki or a Coco lead, so I'm just gonna Ball Strike here because I know this thing is coming in. I know I live in Earth Power, and I felt like he'd either Earth Power or get up his rocks there, so I'm just gonna Ball Strike again. Though looking back at it, going for that kind of makes me a bit weaker to his Tapu Bulu, and I do live in Aqua Jet from full, so I can't really bring it in on the Azumarill anymore, and I can't really switch it on this either. And dealing with Clefable is a lot more annoying now, so but I wanted to kill Diancie so it can free up my Mew. So yeah, I'm gonna go into my Slowbro on the sack, as I do end up living the Volt Switch, which is whatever. I don't really have a switch in the knockoff, so I'm just gonna let my Slowbro die here. I can revenge kill his Azu anyway with Psychic, and I Grass Knot. So I'm gonna throw off a Will-O-Wisp here as he goes out into his Clefable. Now I'm gonna go for the Taunt because I do not want rocks going up. I think he Volt Switches here as I go for, I think, knockoff as he goes out into his Clef, and then here I think I Taunt again because I really don't want rocks going up as he goes out into Coco again. And then here I go for the Roots because I know he's going to Thunderbolt, and it might be a 2-hit KO, as it's not even a 2-hit KO after leftovers. So here, I really wish I kind of whisked here, but I think he goes directly into Blue. No, not yet. So I knock off here in the Clef, and here, the Taunt was so obvious, man. If I burned the Tapu Bulu, the game just ended, because Blue was really the only mon that could really do anything to my Mew. Besides for Klefki Thunder Waving it. So he goes into his Bulu here, Tapu Zugu, and I actually thought this nickname was kind of clever, to be honest. But he catches me in the Taunt, so now I gotta bring in my Jirachi and a Woodhammer. This damage confirms that he's most likely Choice Scarf, so he could be Fightinium Z, but probably not. So I think I just go for the U-turn here because I know he's going out into his Coco, and I can just bring out my Latios and fire up a Scarf Psychic, try and get damage on the Coco or this Klefki, which I needed to kill Klefki for me to win with Mew, or else if he Thunder Waves me, I'm going to lose it to the Azumarill. So he Thunder Wave. He makes a good play in Thunder Waves here. I thought this was fine because he was either gonna get up like a spike there or he was gonna Thunder Wave. And if he Thunder Waves me, I pretty much get a free kill with Victini. As he reveals that he's actually foul play, which you don't actually see that often on Klefki at all. So he Thunder Waves here as I go on to my Jirachi. I'm trying to Iron Head him to get some damage off. I think here I U-turn. No, I Iron Head again because I just want damage on Coco or like whatever's coming out or in this Klefki. So I'm going to go into my Latios here because I will be able to take a T-Bolt. And I do knock him out with Psychic. He goes out into the Clefable. Right here, like, if I got this roll on Clefable, then I'd still have my Anzu around. I mean, I still have my Latios around for the Clefable. And I'd be able to potentially trick the Klefki. Like, Scarf Latios was super good versus him if I knocked out Clefable here, but I didn't. So I lose my Latios here, and the game's looking really grim for me right now. I don't think it's possible for me to win without Latios because Azu sets up on everything behind screens. So here he goes down to Bulu. Gonna go out into my Jirachi on the Wood Hammer. I think here I go for the Iron Head and I get a crit if I'm not mistaken. No, it doesn't happen yet. But I U-turn here on his Coco. Gonna bring out my Gardevoir. Just gonna spam Hyper Voice here because I get a kill. And I end up critting his Klefki. So this was huge because now I finally got the Klefki kill. And my Mew's at a decent amount of HP. But it's still kind of rough because this thing kind of beats it. Like, if I burned him that turn back, the game would have just ended here. Because I can burn his Azumarill. Not ended, but I guess I can burn the Azumarill if it tries to drum. And then I can maybe beat it down with Jirachi. I just had a better chance at least. And I would have still had like if I still had Latios, I would have still had Latios, and then I would have been able to I was just gonna set up whatever, but I can burn it and then sack something and bring out my Latios and click Psychic. So I'm gonna bring in my Mew here. Here I kind of messed up. I shouldn't have went Mew first. I should have went into my Jirachi, and then I should have actually, even if I went Jirachi, he could have just went into his Azu and drummed up directly on me. It wouldn't have mattered. So yeah, game's basically over at this point. I'll just skip, and yeah, he ends up winning that set. So let's go into the next one. He ends up bringing Dragon. I felt like maybe Poison or something might come out because I have been spamming a lot of Fairy and stuff lately. So I thought, and this had like a decent matchup versus everything, but he ended up bringing two types that I didn't see at all in the scouting. If you saw, Fairy was nowhere on it, which I should have honestly just put Fairy. I should have put Fairy in there regardless of whether it was there or not, because everyone has Fairy. Literally everyone has a good Fairy. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't have a Fairy, in my opinion. Fairy and Psychic are like the two big types you should have. In tournament play and ladder play in general, you should always have at least those two types. Yeah, so this matchup is super bad for me, like really bad, especially because I didn't have the right set. I'm supposed to be Ice Fang, Sharpedo, but I was not, so this matchup is absolutely horrendous for me. Can't really touch anything on his team besides for Grant. Like, Grant can beat everything, but Kyurem just kind of gets kills, and I don't know what kind of Kyurem he is because he could be Life Orb 3 attacks, as well as Icium, which are both super mega threats to me. So let's get right into it. He's going to lead off with the Kyurem, as I kind of expected that. I'm going to lead off with my Pert. So here I was kind of debating for a while. Like, you see the time running down. I'm like, is he actually Icium? A lot of people, like, Icium has been falling off lately in popularity. A lot of people have been running the Life Orb 3 attack set, but I guess since he's not running like that pairs better with Altaria to deal with poison and stuff, because you actually do have issues dealing with like Venusaur with that type of dragon. So I guess he doesn't need it, and he just ends up running the Z move. And I'm going to actually live this barely, so I'm going to throw off a Toxic here so I can at least wear down his Kyurem. I'm going to bring in my Toxapex on the Ice Beam, and now I think I just bunker to try and stall him out a bit as he no, I get up a T-Spike because I avoid the 2KO anyway. I I can just throw off a Scald here, trying to get a burn, as I do not. And I think here he goes into Hydreigon as I pivot out into Swampert. No, he just Earthquakes again. I thought he'd go into Hydreigon. So I can go into my Gren here, throw off an Ice Beam. And so in comes the Kyurem here. I think I just go directly into my Pex, because I thought I lived 2, but apparently not. And I take so much from that, so I'm just going to Bunker here to try and stall him out a bit. And I think I have to go directly into Manaphy here to try and live 1 and then fire off a Waterium, which we don't end up living either, so yeah, looking like a beatdown right now. So I can go into my Sharpedo here, protect. Like if I was Ice Fang, I might have had a chance here, because I could have protected again and then went for the Ice Fang and maybe get a crit or something. But he reveals that he specs. I would live a Draco if it was Scarf. I can go into my Gren here, throw off an Ice Beam. Narrowly miss out the KO on Kyurem, but I do get the poison. The game's pretty much over at this point. Like I need some mega hacks to come through right now. So I Ice Beam here on the Latios as he Thunderbolts me. He's trying to put me in range of E-Speed. And yeah, so he just clicks E-Speed. Mega. I was hoping he was not, like he was Dragon Dance and I could Waterfall, but yeah, this is over. Like, I can't do anything. Game's over. So he ends up 2-0ing me. Honestly, I don't think I really played super bad or anything. It was more like I didn't have nearly the matchups that I wanted, like, at all. Like, this game was really hard, especially because I wasn't the Ice Fang, but still, like, if I had Suicune, Suicune could usually come through in the late game, potentially, if you have, like, T-Spikes up or whatever, but, matchup wasn't anywhere near my favor. This first game, I didn't really play bad. I just, like, he got me this game, so that's all that happened. Definitely for my next opponent, because I do verse, who do I verse? I think I verse PCM. I'm definitely gonna play a lot better and bring, like, sorry about that. And yeah, I'm just gonna, like, try and play better and just, like, not bring types, not types that aren't expected, but I'm just gonna play a lot better and not just, like, throw, not throw, but like I under prepped for some of these types. Like I should have expected Fairy. Dragon just I don't know, he brought this out of nowhere, dude. I don't know if there's anything I could have done about this game, but yeah, so I'll see you guys next time with probably relearning Monotype. I haven't been able to record that lately just because of time issues, and I don't know, this game kind of made me stop playing Mons for a couple days, to be honest, because I really want to win this tournament, but trying to win from losers bracket is really tough, especially since, like, you have to beat everyone in losers, and then I have to beat the guy in winners twice, which is really, really tough compared to just being comfortably in winners, waiting till losers is over, and then I have that buffer in the best of 3 where I can lose the first one and still win pretty handily. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.